Good morning, everyone. Well, as you saw, it's a frosty little morning out there. That's what we would call frost down here in the South in the US. But I'm in my nice warm studio, and I wanted to talk about something that I found on my front porch yesterday. I went out there to take the collared starts out there to get them a little exposed to some cooler weather and be outside. And our Christmas tree is in front of our front door because that's the only place in the house where I can actually put it. We have a small house, so I put it in front of the front door. And so we haven't been going out the front door for, a week or two, or however long it's been. Anyway, had to shift the Christmas tree, and I'll show you here sadly that I had to take the angel off the Christmas tree and all of my pretty ornaments off the Christmas tree. I even had to take the tree skirt out from underneath the tree because our kitten was attacking everything. And I think I'm probably just going to have to go ahead and take the tree back over to our storage building. But I went out on the front porch with my collard starts and I looked down on the chair and there was a package. And I don't know how long it had been there. I don't think it'd been too long, but it could have been a couple of days, which was a little worrisome. This was a package from one of you, you wonderful viewers and subscribers and whoever you are out there. Thank you so much just for being here. But one of them, Lori, sent me a package. Lori's the one who sent the spin-off magazines that I have enjoyed so much and haven't talked about them as much as I should. But I wanted to show you what was in the package. Okay, there's nothing more fun than opening up a package, and I thought that you would enjoy kind of doing that with me. So I'm going to turn the camera down and we'll see what's in there. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, she had some nice tissue paper on top and a very sweet note and a very beautiful card with a picture of her grandchildren, I think, in there. That was very sweet. So then, now if you hear some scratchy little noises in the background, that's just my kitten getting into things that kittens get into. She sent me a pair of very nice, very smooth circular needles. She sent me some really sweet fat quarters. I like all of these, and they all come from the same company, Primitive Gatherings. Ooh, isn't that one pretty? These are, now this was fun. This is a package of, she calls these miscut pieces for a quilt. They're too small for needle turn applique, but they would be a good size for machine, which I don't do anything by hand. My hands hurt too badly to do any kind of hand needle point, really. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I haven't really opened this up yet. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, look at the middle. Isn't that pretty? Okay. These are very special. Would that be nice? Okay. Oh, and see, I've got a bag to keep them in. That's so helpful. Otherwise, there's no telling what would happen to them. Oh, I like that. That is a wonderful gift in and of itself. Now, here is a little pattern. This is a knitting pattern for a baby hat. Isn't that cute? It looks like a because I've been thinking about making some hats lately. I don't have a head that's very good for stiff hats, but it's good for stretchy hats. Here's a couple other little pieces of fabric. This is little Christmas fabric. See little trees, and this is absolutely adorable. Isn't that the cutest ever? Oh, I love that. That needs to have a special place in whatever it ends up being in. Now, here are some funky yarns. Here, these are embroidery thread. These are going to go straight to my daughter because I don't really do embroidery work. I rarely use my embroidery thread. And now there's also a good bit of yarn in here. This is this funky yarn. Now this is also really good. This is good for doing tapestry weaving because you can really get these bumps to stand out. This is something she has already turned into like an I-cord. This is really neat. I like these kind of yarns. But that's really fun yarn. Very pretty butter yellow color. And then we have kind of a chunky yarn. And then we have a couple of just medium yarns. And then there's a crochet hook. That's a nice small one. I have a collection of crochet hooks, and boy, are they handy. And then, I'll do that last. Then we have some more fabric. Now this is leftover fabric, she says, from a baby quilt that she made. And yes, she says, I do have a grandson. Actually, now I have 2 grandsons. Oh yeah, see, this is kind of like what Kate Jackson has, just all kinds of scraps that are cut and ready. That looks like that's a 1.5 inch square. Oh, look at what this is. And you get something like that. Oh, I might have to just fiddle with these today. It looks like I could take these and make some more of these. She must have just made more than she needed for the quilt she was making. And then you have some super fun fabric here. Ooh. Oh, and this would be the back. Okay, I may have to open this all up and find out what in the world I could do with this. Okay, and the last thing in here, this is so pretty. This is some of that batik fabric, which this is really beautiful. I dearly love. I love these dark, kind of foggy. I hope I've been able to show you everything. I haven't really been looking at the camera. Isn't that beautiful? And this one, I think I like even more. Well, I just wanted to share this with you and say thank you to Lori for her kindness, not just in thinking of me, but in shipping all of this to me, especially at a busy time of year. Isn't that amazing? Kate talks about chain piecing, and that's what I've been doing. What I did there, but it's just when you don't start over again every single time, and instead you do it in a long chain and run from one little stitch to the next little stitch, join your pieces, especially when you're joining little pieces like this together, and then at the end you can just snip them all. Now, this is one of the very first times I've actually done this. This seemed like a good time to do it. Now I had 14 of each of these types. This one has the 2 polka dots, and this stack had polka dot in the middle. These are the ones that Lori sent me, and so I used these other ones to make an equal number of, let me see, how many have I got now? Let me keep track. Okay. So I have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Got 19 of those. I suppose 19 of these. I need to press these. Mine are flying open, as you see. So I've got that fabric taken care of. Now this is the same width. Yeah. See, I'm wondering if, oh yeah. Oh, but see, that's skinnier. This is definitely skinnier. It must be for something else. I don't know. Here's one random polka dot square. There's another skinny piece, but these are the same width as these blocks. So I could make some more using this and something else. I wonder if I should use this. Yeah, these are not, yeah, these are individual pieces, so they're not big enough to do anything else with. Well, maybe I'll do that. I'll cut these two into the same size. I think this is 1.5 inches, and cut all this to 1.5 inch squares. Maybe I'll save this for the back of whatever this is going to be. It might be a small quilt. Well, I pressed them and laid them out. This is about 14 inches by 14 inches, so not really enough for anything but like maybe a pillow, which is a thought. But once I stitched it all together, it would be a good bit smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be 2 inches. It'd be about 12 by 12. That I think is also super fun, and it'd be fun to integrate them together. So I think I'm going to soldier on and do some more squares and see what I come up with. our chicken pen is in pretty sad shape, mostly because it's totally covered by bird netting, which protects the chickens from predators, but it's been covered by vines and all kinds of vegetation, and it's sagging really badly. It's sagging almost to the ground, to the point where most of the pen I can't even get in there. Even on hands and knees I couldn't get in there. So I've come up with an interesting solution that I want to show you. I'm kind of turning the pen into a little forest. It was hard for me to reach this door right here to clean out their coop in the morning. So here's one of the big branches that I put here. I just shove it up, top end first, shove it as hard as I can to get that bird netting. And now I can get to that door without bending over double. But this looks even more fun. This was the big pine tree that Adam cut down a while back. And I dragged it over here. I cut a lot of the top out of it because it was too tall. See, it actually sticks up above the netting. But all of these secondary branches ensure that the netting can't come down around it. That was the difficulty with that black pole back there, was the netting just broke at the top, even with a bucket on top, and it just came straight down. But these trees, I think, will do a better job. I've put another small dead apple tree right there to hold that up. I've put a little pine there, and the two more pines I just brought in from the pasture will go in this area too. Probably one right there and one right there to open things up. I don't really go in that part of the pen much, but you can see right there the netting is all the way down to the ground, so it's just so useless. It used to be held up by these lengths of line, boat line, probably some kind of a pick twine, but they've all broken over the years, and I'm not going to get any more chickens. I'm waiting for these ones, bless their hearts, to die off of a nice ripe age, and then I'll be done with chickens. So we don't want to move the pen or radically improve the pen, spend a lot of money. We just want to keep it usable for a few more years. Well, there you go. Two more little props. It's not a huge improvement, but it is better. If I could find another tree like this to put in the back, that would be really good. But I don't know if we have another one that tall that we want to cut down. We'll have to see. Okay, so that's the latest chicken news. Okie dokie. In the midst of all the Christmas chaos, there has been some sewing going on. I'm continuing with these fabric pieces that Lori sent. Now I have these. That is really fun fabric. And I have some that has the polka dots in the middle and some that has the polka dots on the outside. Okay. And I only had one square of polka dot left, and then I started on the next fabric and I made these. This is construction fabric. Little boys love construction. And then some more different size polka dots. Now I have a few that have the construction on the outside because there was less of that, and I have quite a few that have it in the middle with the polka dots on the outside. So I've got a good bit of those. I don't know yet how I'm going to put this together. I don't think I have enough for a good sized quilt. And so I kind of want to extend. Now this is the piece that she sent that I think would make a lovely back. I think that that is big enough for a back for a child's quilt. I do. This particular grandchild, has just turned 3. I haven't made him a quilt yet. I've made him other blankets. And the quilt, I think, at least for a while anyway, is going to be kind of the last blanket I do for each grandchild when I get around to it. So as far as more, I do have more of these little square. These are 1.5-inch squares, so pretty little and fiddly. And that means they're going to finished, each square will be just 1 inch. But going through my fabric drawer, I found this. This was just a fat quarter, nice primary blue, and I think it'll go just fine with that, don't you think? So I'm going to cut that up and use it. And then I didn't realize I still had, this is what I used, I think, for my older grandson's quilt. I didn't know I had any of it left. It wasn't enough to do anything more on his quilt, but there's certainly enough fabric to do little 1.5-inch squares. So yeah, I did, his was a log cabin, and I think this was the back of it. Okay, I've got a lot of it. And it has a green, you know, that's the thing, is they all have greeny tones. This has, the polka dots have some green, and this definitely has green. And this has green. It's more of a, it's a paler green, more of a sage green. But if I can find maybe a couple of fat quarters that would give me a good pairing fabric with this, then I could start arranging all of these. And I'm wondering if I need a solid. I've got this as a solid. Maybe if I had a lighter green, because I've got a lot going on. Let's look just really quick. I'm just going to lay out a few and we'll see what we've got, okay? Now, bear in mind, I'm not a quilter and I don't know what I'm doing. Now, of course, we could put them like this. I think I might have showed you that before. I can't remember. If I do them end to end, like that, that's kind of nice, because then you just have an alternating. Okay. Ooh, that's super fun. But I don't have, I just didn't have enough of the construction fabric to do a whole lot of that. This is where I think I need to just take some time to experiment with design, if you can even call it that, just how you put the pieces together. I did them in these little 3 scrap pieces because I had seen Kate Jackson do that, and I thought, oh, she did it with string piecing like I just showed you, and it just seemed so easy. So, but it's also true that once I get, oh yeah, once I get these done with some of these, I could intersperse that. This looks very busy. I'm afraid that it's real pretty, but it looks kind of busy, and I'm afraid the construction stuff might get lost. You do get the occasional stop word or tire or a detour sign or a little top of a cone, but a lot of it is just kind of a little bit lost. I wonder, oh, I wonder what it'd be like to alternate. Well, for now, let's do this. No. Maybe a little bit closer. And look at that. See, I've got green, 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 green. And this is quite a bit of orangey brown, but there's also a good bit of orange in the construction fabric, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I wonder if doing this helps to break up the different types. What do you think about that? It's kind of fun looking. I think it looks even more fun on the camera than it does where I am. Now, all of these pieces are not, I'm not very perfect at cutting things out. I'm really not perfect at sewing them, so I'm not going to worry if seams don't quite meet in this grid. I'm just not going to stress about that. I'll probably do them in strips and then sew them together and square it off at the end. Okay, so I think I'm beginning to realize that I want to break up like this line and this line. I want to break it up with this. And I think once I get this solid blue, breaking it up even again would be really good and help them to pop out. Okay, that's good to know. All right, well, I think that's it for this week. And I'll be back next week with something else. Maybe some half square triangles. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. I've got some fabric I want to work on that. All right. We'll see you then, friends. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.